Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ice Cold Takes podcast. I am your host, Joey DeMeglio, and the Rangers had their home opener on Monday, a 2-1 victory over the Arizona Coyotes. I was in attendance, as was this week's guest and loyal listener of the show, Michael Musto. Thanks for joining. How are you? Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
All right.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thrilled to finally join you. It's been a long time coming. You know, what one can say, I've been asking for weeks, but maybe months or years at this point. But happy to be here and doing my first desktop.
Yeah. 1 minute into the show, we already have a Kevin Weeks reference and another guy's reference. I love it. I love it. Man, you've been following the show for a long time. That means then that's like going on a year with the asking for weeks thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember retweeting, or it was tweeting at the time. Yeah, retweeting and every single day. Like we did we were tried for Cali too, and
Yeah.
that one didn't take as much work, but
Yeah. No.
yeah, definitely been along for the ride for quite a while. So
Yeah.
happy to be here and finally get to join you.
Yeah, so we finally got to meet at the home opener on Monday, and that was a real good experience. I got to meet like a good bunch of the Twitter gang too in the section 200. You were sitting in the 100s, right? You had some
Yeah, I
real good
was
seats.
sitting down in 104.
Yeah.
Yeah, dropped a pretty penny on the
Yeah.
tickets, but
So
had to be there.
that's behind the net, or is that in the middle of the ice? I'm not
Uh
familiar with that section.
where I was excuse me, it was on the Rangers end, where we get shot on twice. Um, but 104 is more of the corner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so but not bad. 16 rows off the ice, can't complain.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'll definitely be looking for tickets in Philly for like in that section because I know they're gonna be really cheap. Because
In Philly, maybe I'll have to take a trip.
yeah, I did it a few times last year, and we got real good tickets, like 10 rows up from the glass for like $75. That's because
That's
Philly. That's because Philly's a bad team. That's why.
that, you know what? It's funny that like I'm trying not to think about them being decent, and I bet against them twice already, and they've made me lose money. So
Oh.
I'm uh I'm off to a rough start this year. So I'm hoping I can get out there because it's hard for me because Philly's like the worst sports town as far as I'm concerned. I'm an avid Rangers fan, as you know, and I'm also a diehard Cowboys fan. So
And you're a Mets fan too, right?
baseball, go Yankees, go Mets. Who gives a shit? If either team does well, hey, go New York. Um, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, my two loves are the Rangers and the Cowboys. So I loathe Philly sports.
Yeah. Understandably. Yes, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like I'm the same way too. Like when it comes to like their fans, like their fans are really passionate, but it's a lot of fun to go there. And when like their team's not as good, like winning there, they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here." I'm like, "You guys shouldn't be here. This is our stadium now." Like there were so many Rangers fans there. I was like, "Oh, where is everybody? Where's all the Flyers fans? There's nobody here." Oh man, I can't wait until the Flyers are good again, and then like they'll make me eat my words, and it's gonna be hilarious. But I mean, the same can't be said for like Phillies fans. Like you don't go against that fan base because every time a baseball pitcher or a fan base goes like, "Oh, they're not that loud. They're not that loud." It's like, yeah, why did you even say anything, dude? Like, there, Did you see in Citizens Bank there was like two people standing on like top of the stadium, like on the light stand, like
uh, I I did not see that, but that's that's wild.
th- I don't know how they got up there. I gotta find the picture. Somebody sent it to me. That was wild. I could not believe that. They must have ran out of seats or something. Like
Yeah,
that was nuts.
I haven't paid any attention. The only thing that I did see, and I'm pretty sure it was from Philly, was someone ran on the field and got absolutely friggin' buried by a security guard, and I was like, the Cowboys need to sign that dude because that was a sweet fucking tackle.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure the Jets could use somebody else in their secondary too, in that
oh
already
my
stacked
god.
secondary.
Yeah. Hey, congrats and thank you.
Yeah, you're
Congrats on the
absolutely
win, and
welcome.
thank you for that. Because there's no better feeling than seeing Philly lose.
That's right. That's right. And the Jets did a real nice job. I'm a pretty big Jets fan. Like, I listen to 98.7 all the time now. Like they always talk about the Jets and the Giants. So now I'm like fully invested in football. I was always a big Jets fan, but like, once they got Rodgers and, after the start of last season, I got really back into it. Like when
Yeah,
I was in like fourth and fifth grade, the Jets were like uh, it went to the conference championships.
was
They
that what Mark Sanchez
Yeah,
days?
with the Sanchez.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Sanchez.
yeah.
I had a
Those were
I had a
good times.
Sanchez jersey.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. It was funny that he was calling the game on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah. But anyways, going back to the home opener, like I have never been to a home opener before. It was nice to see like the crowd like actually like an actual full crowd. Although there were a couple empty seats in front of me and next to me, but people probably bought those tickets, just didn't get to sell them for sure.
yeah.
But seeing all the people there, I thought it was a great atmosphere. Everybody collectively coming together to boo the referees when when Kelly Sutherland got in Panarin's way on a breakaway, followed by two coinciding minors on the Rangers leading to a 5-on-3. I have never experienced something like that where everyone's collectively chanting, asshole, asshole.
It went from asshole to these refs suck
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah, no. I'd always wanted to get on one of those. Like, no offense to former guest Dave Jackson. Like, I love Dave. Like, great dude. But like those calls were messed up. Like that sequence of events, it was like that could only happen to the Rangers. Like you can't
Yeah,
convince me
like
otherwise.
it's one of those things too. Like I watched the whole sequence with Lindgren and the way he shot the ball.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
I've seen players do that shit time and time again and it not get called. So the fact that they called it and gave them 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes, I was like, this is horse shit.
yeah. I know. I was like, oh my! I was so pissed. I was so pissed right at the end of the period too, right there at the end. And the Rangers did a great job of killing that off. They really they came to play in that. And like seeing everybody stand and clap for them
That
as they're blocking the shots and clearing the puck, that was awesome because there's cheering for like when you score goals, and then there's cheering for the actual effort that's on the ice. And all the games that I've gone to, it was mostly cheering for the goals that you scored. I had never really seen like an effort based thing like that. Maybe when the Rangers played the Penguins a couple years ago and they had a double minor and they killed off that 4 minute, like they dominated it at home. That was awesome. But like that was crazy. A 5-on-3, they're blocking shots and stuff, like taking the body. Oh, that was awesome. That was great.
yeah, for sure. Getting to the end of the period and the arena just going absolutely haywire was awesome. It felt very at that point it felt very much like a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean against the Coyotes, you wouldn't think they would be a playoff opponent, but they played pretty solidly. They gave the Devils a good run for their money. They actually beat the Devils too.
I was gonna say you wanna I was gonna say ice cold take, but I don't think it's ice cold. It might be a lukewarm. I think Arizona's finally starting to come around, and I think they have a handful of players that are legit players. Whether it be Logan Cooley, who I think is an absolute stud. Um, you got a bunch of them, and
Michelli, right?
now that we're
Clayton
live,
Keller.
I'm gonna go blank, but you got the guys that are veterans, and Schmaltz and Bukestad, and the
There you
guys
go.
that have been around. You get Clayton Keller. Like, the team's good, and if they stay in Arizona, I can't wait to see Austin Matthews hopefully leave Toronto.
I know he just got an extension too, I think,
Did
right?
he?
I think he did. I thought he
I
did.
I don't know. I didn't see the news of it being official, so I know that was
It
still up in
wasn't
the
that
air.
long though. It was only
Okay.
4 it was so when he signed his 5-year extension, all everybody was saying like, "Oh, he's gonna leave. Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
leave." And now he gets a 4-year extension. So I don't know how old he is now. So let's see, what is it? He's 26 now. He'll be 30 when that's done.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah, I
so
had no
yeah,
idea that he even signed that.
yeah, that was like right before the start of the season. Like 4 years, I think that's pretty short. So I think there's a chance he could go back there. Like if Toronto doesn't
Gotcha.
have a cup by then, and Arizona's like in 4 years, like Arizona, I mean they already look pretty good now. Like you look at it
Yeah.
like that. So if they're good in 4 years, then I think Matthews definitely consider going back home to play for them if they're still there. That
Yeah,
is.
for sure. I mean, again, all stuff that's up in the air. So I guess we'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see on that.
And then getting back into the reaction phase, I have a crazy story I have to share here. So, I mean, I'm not like I don't advocate for like doxing or anything. So, like, I don't want people to like go out of their way to like go and identify this person and be like, oh, let's get this guy or whatever. I'm not all about that. Like, I mean, this thing just happened or whatever. But as I mentioned with the going after the referees, my friend next to me, he was after the period ended, we were like, discussing like what had happened and then like what the Rangers needed to do in the next period. And he was flipping out on the refs, like he was going crazy, like they fucking handed it to the other team, like they don't want the Rangers to win. They paid him off or something. He went crazy. He went batshit. And the guy in front of us, heavy Irish accent. He he must have like took an offense to like the cursing and stuff. Like I really couldn't understand him because of the thick accent. I thought he was speaking a different language. And like, what, when you speak to somebody that you can't really understand, like you ask to repeat a whole bunch of times, and then after a while you're just like, yeah. You just say yeah, or you nod your head or something. That's what I started doing. And he like called me out for it. He's like, "Oh, you're ignoring me." Like I heard ignore and I'm like, "Oh shit." He's actually like pissed at something. I thought he was commenting on like how passionate he was. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's passionate. He's cursing." And he's like, "Oh, cursing?" He's like, and then all of a sudden I hear break your fucking jaw. And I was like, and he pointed at me. And I was like, "What? What did you just say?" And for the record, like I had the high ground on him, so uh if anything happened, I was
You
closer to the security guard than he was.
you were coming off the top rope, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was just not expecting that for sure. He's like, "Oh, my daughter's here or something." And that was the like all I could understand. I heard break your jaw, I heard cursing, and I heard my daughter's here. And I was like, "Okay, calm down, my friend. Calm down." And I was like, he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, my bad, my bad." And I was like, "Okay, good, good. No broken jaws today." Yeah. Um, and then
That's
they left
insane.
like with 10 minutes left in the third period, and they didn't even get to see the penalty shot. But like when they left, I was like, that was an extra sigh of relief. I was like, damn, never experienced that before. I had no idea what I did. I was like, me? What did I do?
Yeah, that's pretty it's pretty wild. That's how I feel about, like, if I end up in Philly, how things are gonna go is I'm very very emotional when it comes to my sports. So I may get a little carried away, and my uncle was at the Jets Eagles game and ended up getting into a fight with Eagles fans, and yeah, not Not something I'm looking to do.
Okay, I got you. All good though, right? He's okay.
Yeah, a couple bumps and bruises, nothing too
All
crazy.
right, all right, all right. It's Ranger Central. Who did I miss though about me? That guy was insane. Yeah. Yeah. He was just complaining about him. That's what it was. It was just the cursing. I really couldn't understand. And the last thing about, yeah, people are,
Keep my mouth PG on here.
yeah, yeah. Can't be dropping TLC references. Cheap.
Oh, creep.
Creep.
Hey, Joey, don't go chasing waterfalls, all right?
TLC references. Come on. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I do this with my friend like all day. Like we see each other like every now and then now, like because he doesn't work with me at the pizzeria anymore, but like we still do it. It's like a desk pop. No, it's not real. And we go back and forth. He does Alan, I do Terry, or he does Terry and I do Alan. Oh, I love the other guy so much.
You don't understand, dude. It's so good. It's so good. And I think that's like really what started our friendship on Twitter.
Yeah.
Was one of, I don't remember what the exact GIF was, but it was something other guys related, and we just kept going back and forth.
Oh, I think I remember. It was go get him, guys. A lot of energy, a lot of focus.
Right. And we, and then I think I followed it up with aim for the bushes or something like that. Like, oh, such a funny friggin' movie though. Like me and my former boss, actually, he's on Twitter with me as well, and we'll do the same thing where we'll go back and forth, or we'll just do it in a random text conversation. He called me the other day. He was like, "So I hate my job because none of my coworkers get my other guys' references like you did," and I'm like, "Well, don't go chasing waterfalls." And just dumb stuff. Like I kind of wish that we would have gotten this whole thing started at 9:15, so it could have
9:15. Let's have a great day. Cut the shit.
Oh, it's so good, so good. It's just a great cast too. Like Farrell's great, but the amount of actors that are in there with him, from Wahlberg to The Rock to
of course, like the cameo from The Rock.
Michael Keaton is fantastic. Like
Michael Keaton,
just so good.
Mark Wahlberg did a great job too. I thought he did a fantastic job.
Not to mention, this is a Rangers podcast, right? And he was wearing a Rangers t-shirt at a time or two in that movie, so it's related. It's related.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I always went crazy. Like when I was younger and I watched that, I always went crazy. Like when I saw him wearing the Rangers shirt, like, oh, he's a Rangers fan. Like, I love that. Oh my god. But transitioning from the excitement from opening night to this disappointing Thursday night matchup against the Predators. Oh man. I always think that Nashville's a matchup in hell for the Rangers. I mean, aside from last year where they scored 7 goals, the Rangers, and they were in the middle of that hot streak, I always think like Nashville does. They play the same way every time they play the Rangers. They take away the middle of the ice, force you to shoot, and that's it. And they know Saros is going to make the save because he's a great goalie. Because if they just keep him to the outside and Saros just takes away the corners, then it's easy for him. And the Rangers, this is a matchup in hell because they like to take away the middle, and the Rangers like to pass. They don't like to shoot. There were like 15 times in this game where they had a clear look at the net and they just didn't rip it. They didn't rip it. Like it was just, I'm like, dude, stop trying to pass it into the net. You're not gonna score that way. And sure enough, the Rangers only scored once tonight.
Yeah, there was one play where I was screaming at Panarin. He was coming in down low and tried to make the play across ice, and just one too many passes. Just put it to the friggin' net, man. It's never a bad idea to get the puck at the net.
How about that?
It's just frustrating,
How
dude.
about that? At the end of the first period, like in the last 10 seconds, Kako and Zibanejad, like Kako got it over to the Zibanejad, and instead of Mika taking the shot, he passed it right over to Kako for like a low angle one timer that went high and wide, and then Trocheck, I think I tweeted this during the game. I think he shoots with his eyes closed. He missed an open net in that Arizona game, and then the puck came around the boards. He had a clear open net and shot it like 15 feet above the net over the crossbar. Like, you are accomplishing things only Brad Richards was able to do. Like, that guy used to shoot with his eyes closed. That's what my uncle used to say. My uncle used to say, like, I think Richards shoots with his eyes closed.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I know I said it to you before. I think before we got on here, it's maybe a slight at Wheeler, and I don't mean for it to be, but the boys left their wheels at home.
Yeah.
We just looked a step or two slow with everything that we did, and there's going to be games like that. It's game 4 of the season, so I'm not heartbroken. It just sucks to have to come on here after a game like that.
Yeah, I know. It's better
talk
to
about
come.
it.
It's better to come on after a win. Like last week, the episode was fucking 2 hours long because the Rangers had won the season opener, so we just went forever. we
That's
were
awesome.
we were in good spirits after that one. I mean, this one when you lose is nothing really like good to say. Like
You'll have to have me back after a win.
yeah, for sure, we'll do that. But offsides galore. 3 goals called back due to offsides in the first 4 games of the regular season for the Rangers. I don't think I've ever seen that. Last year, the Rangers hit like 50 posts in like the first like 20 games. I'd never seen that before. And then this year, like that game against Columbus, we didn't even talk about that one, but three goals in one period called back. 2 of them on the Rangers. Like
it's crazy. It's as much as I love the idea that they're getting the right call, it's infuriating because
no.
I know I'm a little bit older than you, so I've seen before there were challenges, and the reviews were very basic. Like it was never to this extent, and
Like,
it's
was it just a kick, or like did he hit it in with his glove?
yeah, like simple stuff like that. Like I don't remember them reviewing for offsides.
No, they never reviewed.
Like if it was missed in live action, it was missed. And yeah, I like if you challenge and you get it wrong, which no team should ever get it wrong because of how deep each team's tech team is, or
yeah, the
video
review
team. Like you should never get it wrong. But
and
if you
because
do,
would
I
have to
like the
kill a
idea of
penalty.
being shorthanded, but it's just it slows things down, and it for us I think it took all the juice out of the game. Otherwise, we probably that game that was going very, very one-sided. That probably was going to be
Yeah,
like an
that
8-1 game or something like
the
that.
Columbus game, yeah, for sure. That was
So
the Rangers should have had a 3-1 lead in the first period. I think it should have been like 3-2 or 3-1, something like that.
yeah,
They only came away with 1 goal. Crazy. But overall thoughts on the team so far, 4 games in. I mean, I always say like it's too early, like at this point, but like new coach. What do you think of him so far?
To be honest, when we brought Laviolette on, I was a little bit disappointed. But at the same time, I didn't know what kind of direction we were going to take. But all the entire coaching staff around him, I think they knocked out of the park. And so far, everything that Laviolette has said and done has been pretty much everything I've wanted to hear. And for the most part, he's kept to it in terms of giving the kids a shot, trying to get power play 2 time. So it's refreshing to see. And then from everything that I see on Twitter, from the beat and seeing him taking certain guys off and having one-on-one conversations or being so involved with, each of the lines and having discussions with them, I think that goes a long way. And I'm super high on all three of the other coaches in Muse, Housley, and Pekka.
Yeah.
So I think they did a dynamite job with all the hirings, and so far Laviolette is all right. That's about the best you're going to get from me for now.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm impressed, and I think maybe that he's exactly what they needed.
I'm surprised that he's an X's and O's coach. I thought he was like a meathead. Like I thought he was just like, all right, we're gonna grind and grind and that's it. Like I thought he was gonna be exactly like Gallant. And I was proven wrong. Like there's a lot of emphasis on systems and stuff. Like I'm learning all this stuff too. Like I don't know anything about systems. Like I know just as much as the casual fan. Like there's a 1-3-1. Like I've seen it like referenced against the Rangers. Like I've seen other teams do it, and like maybe on the broadcast they'll point it out. Like, all right, that's the 1-3-1. Like they're trapping or something. But like the Rangers is like, okay, here now that the Rangers have it, it's going to be a little bit more detailed for us as fans because we're watching every game. And I like that. I like how detailed that is. Like, it felt like the players were just doing whatever they wanted under Gallant, mostly because he was a players coach. Yeah,
the whole players coach thing. I don't, if he wasn't running practices and stuff from everything that has been said, it's just like I'd be surprised to see him get another job somewhere. Even for as good as he's been, whether it's getting Vegas to the finals, getting us to the conference finals, like I don't care how good of a person you are or players coach or however you want to phrase it. It's just like, dude, you need to actually coach. That's your job.
Yeah.
Like just let the guys go out and skate. I don't know.
No, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It definitely seemed like the players gave up on him too after. He gave up on them and then the players gave up on him. So it wasn't good either way. So it made sense that they mutually parted ways, which is what the actual terminology was for when he was let go. But I like how Laviolette is sticking with the lines too. Like he's even in this game where it was so frustrating. If Gallant were coaching, or David Quinn, even for that matter, it would be like, we're gonna put the lines in a blender and we'll see what sticks. This was like, all right, no, from the start of the game to the end of the game, I have my lines. These are what we're going with, and that's it. Because if you're not playing the right way, it doesn't matter who you're with. Like you're not gonna get it done. I like that, and it keeps the players happy too because they're not worried. They're not looking over their shoulder like, oh my god, am I getting demoted? Am I going to play with somebody else? Like, am I going down? I like that. And, even tonight with stinker of an effort, they were, they stayed together the entire time. I mean, like the third period, they played a little bit better, but I think Nashville was just a better team. So they like out-muscled them on the boards and stuff.
That's definitely something I've been pleasantly surprised with. I believe tonight I seen the first little bit of changes in lines. I think in the third period, if I'm not mistaken, he had Panarin with Trocheck and Cooley.
Yeah, he tried that a couple
So he did throw a little bit of a wrinkle in, but I don't, at the same time you're just looking for a spark. You're down 4-1.
He probably double shifted Panarin because that was something they talked about in the last game. Like he double shifted Panarin because he said Panarin was playing really, really well. And I agree. I think Panarin is playing great so far to start the season. I love that he's shooting first. I love that, he cuts into the middle of the ice too now, which is great. I love that.
He's on both my fantasy teams, so I am all about Panarin.
He's getting you those
doing
points.
Whatever he's got to do, get me those points. I got Fox on one of the teams, so those power play points are clutch. But
There you go.
yeah, yeah, we'll
There you go.
see. Yeah,
There you go. I mean,
hopefully make a little bit of money from that.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that sounds good. I was gonna bet on for some reason Heedle every time he plays the Predators, he scores a goal. I was gonna bet that Heedle was gonna score a goal, like anytime goal scorer, but I was just like, nah, I'm not. I don't know. I just had this feeling where I was just like, no, let me not, and I was right. Good thing. I saved my
I
money.
had a couple free bets for tonight that I like bonus bets on Bet365 because I'm in Jersey
Yeah,
for work. So
those are always good.
yeah, so I just joined Bet365 and they gave me $200 in bonus bets. So I put $100
Ooh.
on $100 on Kachuk for over and shots, and then I put $100 on Bedard for over and shots. So I don't know how Bedard, not Bedard, Kachuk did. I know he was at 3 shots after the first period, but
Ooh.
haven't seen anything since. So hoping he got that fourth shot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You
2
know,
periods, get 1 shot. Yeah. Hopefully.
yeah. 2 periods to do it. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully he got that. And then I need Bedard to, I think it was 3.5. So I need him for 4 as well.
Mm,
But he's averaging like 5 shots a game, so I feel good about that.
there you go. Fans like to freak out on social media after every single game. Like, uh, guys, it's 4 games into the season. Let's not overreact here, you know. And then I like to overreact when the Rangers win. We're raising the cup. We're playing in the parade. It's back on. That's what Andrew says.
We're winning the Stanley Cup, guys.
Yeah, we're winning the Stanley Cup. Parade's back on.
It's
Parade's back.
the only reason I got that stupid thing.
Yeah, my dad has one, my sister has one, and she's like, "Oh wait, where's the Stanley Cup?" And I'm like, "The Stanley Cup? Where? The Stanley Cup is here in my house?"
when when I first started working back at Dick's Sporting Goods, and they started mentioning that, I was like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?" And sure enough, I ended up finding out with them, and I mean, it's all right. I like my Hydro Flask more, but I got the Stanley Cup because, well, the name,
Yeah,
it's the Stanley Cup.
hey, whatever works, whatever works. But
That's it.
uh, going back to the fans going crazy, everyone's freaking out on Blake Wheeler already. I think it's hilarious. They signed him to like a cheap contract, and it's like we haven't even given him a chance. But
Yeah.
I understand. Like, yeah, he hasn't looked the greatest so far. I understand that, but what are you gonna do? Cut the guy 4 games in? He's a veteran. He had 55 points last year. Maybe it takes some time.
Nah, give me about 20 games or so.
Exactly. There we go.
If he still looks like booty, then yeah, then it's time to look at other options, whether that be a free agent or two that I know have been potentially on the radar, or if you decide someone in your AHL affiliate is tearing it up.
Johnny
Yeah,
Brodzinski.
yeah, obviously, obviously. Oh, but yeah, like that's another thing to see Brendan Othman just go off and look right at home playing professional hockey in the A makes me feel so good about his development, and it makes me feel like, oh wow, the Rangers actually might be learning how to develop forwards.
Yeah,
Maybe
just let them cook. Just let them cook
that.
wherever they are. Like let the kid play in the AHL as long as needed. Like if he has like 20 goals or something in like 20 games, like yeah, call the kid up. Like yeah, for sure. But like
Yeah,
just don't call him up like too early. Just don't call him up right now. Like I know he's like exciting and stuff, and I liked him in the preseason. Just let him go. Let him play. Let him play. Let Knobloch help him out. I think that's the best thing for him because Knobloch
man,
worked with some real good NHL guys. Like he worked with Connor Brown. He worked with Connor McDavid. I think he worked with DeBrincat too, actually. A couple other guys. I've had it. I wrote an article about it a while ago, a few months ago. But Knobloch knows what he's doing for sure down there. They were like a
Yeah.
terrible team at like the All-Star break, and they made the playoffs and won like 2 rounds, 2 or
Didn't
3
they?
rounds.
Didn't they go to the finals?
I think they went to the conference finals. They lost
Maybe.
it. They lost to Washington's AHL team, who was like
Was that
really good.
Hershey? Still
Hershey, yeah,
Hershey?
yeah, Hershey. Hershey that had Dylan McElrath, former Rangers first rounder.
Rangers legend.
Yeah, known pylon in traffic cone. The original traffic cone.
Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good nickname for him. But
Uh,
Patty Kane is the guy you were referencing about the free
that
agency.
that's certainly one of the guys for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know who would be available at the trade deadline. It's way too early to start talking about that. But I mean, free agency, Patrick Kane, I think he's going to sign in like November. That's not my ice cold take yet. Not my ice cold take yet. We'll get to that segment. But um, Patrick Kane, I think he's not going to come back just yet. I think November, December is what we're going to be looking at.
Well, yeah, he's going to wait as long as possible so that the cap can accrue and he can make as much as possible. But he's going to piss a lot of people off if he comes back to New York because I know a lot of our fan base isn't necessarily a fan of the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me personally, I don't. This might be controversial, but I don't give a shit. I love the player for the player, and
Yep.
what he does, what he does on the ice. Yeah, he struggled for us, but the couple months that he was here and he was 50% of himself, he still gave us a couple highlight reel moments, and it was like
Yep.
it leaves the question, it makes you wonder, what if? What if you get a fully healthy Kane that's willing to come back on a $2 million deal, a prove it deal?
Prove it deal. Yeah, exactly.
If you end up waiving Wheeler or VC or, which if we waive VZ, I feel so bad for the
I
guy
would be so
because
pissed.
like him signing the extension with us last year, excuse me, he 1,000% deserved it, and he's worked his ass off. And the fact that we're 0-2 with him in the lineup is heartbreaking. But I don't think it's indicative of him. It's just bad luck, I guess. But
Yeah.
I would hope that's not the way that we go.
I hope jury or whoever's making the decision sees that it's not VZ that should be the odd man out. Really, I think, and this is just from 4 games, so my mind is not really made up. Pitlick. I think Pitlick would have to be the odd man out. Or if you want to be safe and lose nobody, then you could just send Cooley down, not lose him at all. But then again, Laviolette has raved about him, and he's played really, really well. I like Cooley. I think he's doing real well.
See, that's a guy I feel like has been fine.
Yep.
He's done everything right, at least for the most part from what I've seen. I wouldn't touch him, and that's why I said maybe a Wheeler or a VZ or like you said Pitlick. I I really like Bonino. I know I don't know how popular that is, but I think the way he blocks shots is something to just absolutely behold.
And win faceoffs too.
And I think that's important to have in your bottom six.
Yep. The face-offs, the block shots, it's really important. And he could chip in goals too. I think he's had like at least 5 years in a row where he scored 10 or more goals, which is really good for a fourth line center. Like I don't think the Rangers have had that in a while, at least since like Boyle or Dominic Moore or somebody. Like I don't think the Rangers have had that in a while. But 10
Yeah,
goals, that seems like a lot for a
yeah.
fourth liner that doesn't play that much. But I've seen a couple arguments against the whole bringing Kane back thing. And like, look, he had 6 points in 7 playoff games on a busted hip, right? He very clearly was uncomfortable playing. He admitted it. He looked like he lost a step too, and he was still producing. So you don't think if he genuinely feels better after the surgery, like you don't think he's going to be playing better? Like, why you say? I see people say like, name me an athlete that has had a debilitating hip injury, had the surgery, and came back and was better. But like, we're not talking about a long term extension. We're just talking about a 1 year prove it deal. Like the Rangers need somebody right now, and they don't need them right now. But if they have somebody like an injury, let's say, if Wheeler or Pitlick or VZ, any of these guys get hurt, you want to get if you want to put Kane in there, I would do it because he could still play. He, I mean, on half a hip, he put up before he got traded to the Rangers. He put up a good amount of points, and then in the regular season, it was 12 points in 18 games. Playoffs, he was third on the team in scoring. I know he's a power play merchant. Yes, I understand that, but he gets the job done too. Like, you don't think he wouldn't help at even strength too?
I there I don't think there's an argument, and I think the only argument comes from people that just don't like the guy for reasons outside of hockey.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna flip this on you real quick, and I'm gonna ask you if this were to happen, not that it's going to. December, Patrick Kane signs New York Rangers 1 year prove it deal.
Uh-huh.
Where are you putting him in the lineup?
I would plug him in where Blake Wheeler is right now. Assuming that Kreider's advantage at Kako and Panarin, Hito, Lafreniere keep playing the way that they've been playing at even strength for. I mean, this game was an outlier, I'll say, but from the first 3 games, I really like what I saw from those two lines. I think that Kane plays on the third line, and I was looking yesterday. It's funny enough that you asked that because I was looking yesterday on Natural Stat Trick. I was looking to see the 5-on-5 time on ice for each of those lines. Very, very close. Like the top line is the Panarin line. That's got 34 minutes. Then the second line is the Zibanejad line. That's got like 33, 32 minutes. And then the third line is the Cooley line with Trocheck and Wheeler, and that's got 30 minutes, like time on ice. Very evenly distributed there. So it's not like he won't be getting power play time or ice time. He will, and he'll make up for it with his power play time too, for sure. Because they're definitely going to be putting him on power play 1. I don't know how you can't. Like, honestly, for real, like you'd have to do a 1A, 1B power play. Like
Yeah.
Trocheck is at ice time is like 17 or 18 minutes, and he's playing third line minutes. So yeah, you could get that's good ice time for a third liner. That's fine. I don't think that's a bad idea. And I think the best argument I have for that too is Blake Wheeler and Patrick Kane are just as the same. They impact defense the same. Patrick Kane is as much of a black hole as Blake Wheeler is on defense. So really, it's just a substitution. It's not anything crazy. Like I know Kane doesn't bring any defense. I'm not an idiot. He's 30, 34. He's 35 years old. I know he's all about the offense. Blake Wheeler was nothing special on defense really either. So like to me,
big difference between the two of them. Give me the speed. Give me the speed. You know, with the superstar ability, provided, you know, it might be watered down a little bit, but I'll take the superstar ability any day of the week with a little bit more speed.
Yeah.
You know, but again, it's 4 games in. I'm not writing Wheeler off.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. I don't want to root for him to like fail either, just so Kane could come to the Rangers either. Like I want Kane, I want Wheeler to succeed. Like I want him to have the same season he had last year. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. At the end of the day, we're both diehard Ranger fans. You know, we love this team and we want what's best for them. I want to see a Stanley Cup in my adult life. You know, the last one I was alive for. You know, I was 6 years old, so yeah, I'm chomping at the bit. You know, so but between the Rangers, you know, the Cowboys, I haven't seen since. Oh my God, I was 6 or 7 when they last won the Super Bowl. So it's it's rough, man. You know, I need a championship in each sport. You know, at least one in my adult life. I've had to watch Tom Brady win what 7. You know,
Oh,
I've had to watch the Penguins win a ton, whether it be Mario and Yogs or it be Sydney and Gino. I like I don't want no, stop it. And then the same deal with Chicago. I had to watch these idiots win what 3 with Kane and Taves. Like, all right, cool. You had your fun. Now you get Bedard. Give me a friggin' break.
yeah, we get Lafreniere and Kako. It's time for them to put their big boy pants on.
That's
Big
it,
man,
dude.
huh? Talking to you.
That's it.
Put my big boy pants on. Stop it. You're scaring me.
We're gonna have to have Laviolette come in as Gator and be like, "Yo, Gator, don't play no shit."
Yeah. Yeah. Laviolette walked into jury's office or walked right up to Lafreniere's like, here needs gas. I swear, like at the practice the other day or before the last week, before the first game, I think one of the beat reporters, you're gonna walk a beat downtown, but that one of the reporters was like, "Oh, a long conversation between Laviolette and Lafreniere," and Laviolette must have been giving him the business or something like that, because then Lafreniere scored that night. So, it must have been something good. Like I called it out.
Talk to
Lafreniere
him
needs,
every day. Talk to him
yeah,
every day. I don't give a shit. Make it happen.
right. Lafreniere
You
needs to
know,
come to play this year. He needs to
I
put
need
his big boy pants on.
I need him to absolutely turn the corner and friggin' tear it up. I have so many of his cards that I bought in his rookie season that I spent a lot of money on.
Yeah.
That I bought as investments and I was very, very excited about. And needless to say, I'd be taking a huge loss
Yeah.
if I was willing to move them now. So hopefully he turns the corner. He figures it out. I think he's looked good. The first like 2 games he was really really good. The last 2, the one I was at, I didn't notice him a ton.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't know.
but and tonight it's weird. I'm like I said, I'm in Jersey. I'm in a hotel. So I'm watching on my phone because I can't stream it to the TV, and the hotel doesn't have MSG. So I
Of course
I
you
was
did.
struggling tonight. But from what I could tell, I didn't really notice him all that much. So I'm hoping that he finds it. Kako, I'm excited about because I feel like he took a big step last year. I think he's going to continue to take a step, especially if he's gonna stick on that first line with Kreids and Zibanejad. So, I mean, hopefully 13 figures it out.
Mhm. Yep. All right. And the last thing before we go, we have to do it. The ice cold take segment.
Ooh,
Starting to do this a little bit more consistently now. So a reminder, in case you don't know, ice cold takes are right. It is an accurate statement backed by facts and observations that is solid in nature, similar to a block of ice, i.e., a spot on claim. So I know you said earlier it was like a lukewarm take. I thought it was a pretty reasonable statement about Arizona being, they're finally turning a corner, right? But we have a more definitive, solidified ice cold take.
it's tough, and it's funny because from the moment you had asked me to come on the show, I've been thinking about this, and I don't know if it's 100% definitive or maybe I'm just a little bit off the rails, but I think it's not, does it have to be Rangers or can it be whoever?
You could make an ice cold take about the other guys for all I care. Could be anything.
The ice cold take is the other guys is one of the greatest comedies ever.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
hands down. There you go. That's the ice cold take of the century. There. Oh wow.
no. So in terms of what think, I think the Devils were way ahead of schedule last year, and I believe they're going to take a huge step back this year, or a huge step back this year. Um,
Woo! Shots
so
fired.
if I had to pick something, I think that's going to be it. I'm not saying that they're going to miss the playoffs, but I think they'll drop down to probably a wild card position.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like kind of like the Rangers did this year. Like or last year,
Exactly.
sorry.
Exactly. We were way ahead of schedule, and we were a year or two early, and we everybody's got a plan till
Yeah.
they get punched in the mouth, right?
Yeah. Who
So
said that? Wait, somebody said that recently.
well, I don't know about recently. I know it was a famous Tyson quote, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. That sounds like something Tyson would say. Yeah. It's like the
Everybody's got a
Rangers
plan
got
till they get hit in the mouth.
yeah, the Rangers got humbled against the Devils. So, like the 2-0
Exactly.
lead. Yeah.
Again, super early in the year. I don't know how how that's going to turn out, but I think that they take a step back this year, and maybe we'll look back on this and be like, oh my god, that was a fucking terrible opinion,
Yeah.
but I think the Devils take a step back, and I think if we figure it out, and Patrick Kane ends up in New York, I think we make it to at least the conference finals.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So like that's the thing. Like I'm not sure who's available at the trade deadline. So if they want to invest, like if he wants cheap, like $2 million, you said, right? So
Yeah.
let's say it's $2 million. They accrue that space. They're gonna have to get rid of like one of the guys that's on the roster currently to accrue even more space, right?
Mhm.
I don't know how much that's gonna leave them at the trade deadline because I mean they could always flip some salary, like they could trade Goudreau, but how
That
likely is that gonna happen?
they absolutely could, but I'd watch your mouth because AK is probably listening somewhere, and she's gonna come for you. So don't do that. Don't
uh,
say that out loud. Don't put that into the universe.
yeah, I've floated that out like a couple times, and I always had to like put the disclaimer like this doesn't mean I'm gonna like I'm advocating for a Goudreau trade.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I wouldn't either. He was actually one of the guys the other day that was nice enough to stop and take a picture with me. So he's
Oh, nice.
he's on my good side right now.
That's good. That's good. I heard that meet and greet thing, like not the home opener went well, but like the next day was like not good, or like 2 days after they like left
I,
early or something.
I didn't go to that, but from what I heard, they had the team Halloween party, so a bunch of them ended up leaving early. But no, the day of the home opener, I was down there early and got to see a couple of the guys. And after 10 years of trying, I finally got a picture with Kreider, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Is
So
he like real bad with that stuff?
I mean, I don't know. Every time I've tried, like it was like right after COVID, and the 2 or 3 times that I seen him, he was like, "No, maybe next time." I'm like, "All right." And he was a bit of a stickler this time too, but I was gonna do a selfie from like down the block essentially, and he walked over and he was like, and took the picture with me. So I was like,
Nice.
yeah, but
He felt bad.
it was a good time. It was a good time,
Yeah, yeah,
especially capping the day off with a nice win, even though the officials were
yeah. They were
not
spotty.
exactly going for us.
That penalty shot was real cool though.
That was definitely cool to see. The Igor chants are always nice and loud, and it's a beautiful thing.
You know what was crazy? I never did a Henrik chant until like he showed up during the intermission or whatever, and he handed he like was actually there and handed the check to the kid and the family. Like
Oh
that was
man,
awesome. I like right then and there, as soon as he handed like as he showed up, I was like, all right, he's giving him the check, and everybody's gonna start chanting Henrik. And sure enough, the
there it
crowd went
is.
nuts. The crowd went nuts. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, Oh, Henrik, my man. It's crazy to think that I got to witness that man's entire career in the NHL, and
Yeah.
I was there for his debut against the Devils.
Oh, really? You were there?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
like, yeah, it's just amazing to be able to say it. Damn, I was there for that. I was there for a few fun ones. I was, oh my god, I don't remember how old I was, but I was sitting upstairs, and me and my buddy, just day of, were like, "Hey, you want to go to the Ranger game?" And we ended up going, and this was Rangers Flyers, so you knew it was going to be good.
Mhm.
And me and my buddy were sitting there. I was like, "Yo, I bet you $10 that there's a fight within the first minute of the game." And this happened to be the game where Colton Orr knocked Todd Fedoruk out. Like, it was like 19 seconds into the game,
Oh my God.
and he had to be stretchered off the ice, and I was like, I feel bad about this bet. I was like, keep the money, because I don't want it for that. But yeah,
Wow.
funny enough, Colton Orr is a buddy of mine. He lives up by where I do in Connecticut. He lives up in New York, and where I am
Oh,
is
nice.
right on the border. So I got to see him the other day
Yeah,
too,
I heard that he was
which
gonna
was
be there
nice.
with Matteau. I heard he was gonna be there.
Yeah. He ended up coming out, and I caught him and had a nice little conversation. What's unbelievable about hockey players, and I don't know if it's all of them, but at least, or for as many times as I've seen him, he always addresses me by my name, which is something that I find unbelievable.
Yeah, that guy's probably
Like,
met so many people, you know.
that's what I'm saying. Just the fact that, you know, like, yeah, I know my number's in your phone, but like, the fact that you, like, when you run into me in person, the fact that you still address me by name is so friggin' cool to me.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's gotta be a great feeling. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Colton Orr, next guest on the Ice Cold Takes.
I'll shoot him a text. I'll see what he says.
Yeah, I have to get DPHer on still. Like I drafted like a media pitch and stuff. Like tomorrow I gotta wake up early because I'm gonna call into to um DPHer and Rothenberg on the radio. And
There you go.
if I get in, then I'll be like, hey, Rick, and well, Dave's a Rangers fan too. So I'll just be like, hey, what do you guys think of Kane? And also Rick, stop dodging my tweets. Come on, Ice Cold Takes or something like that. Like that guy never uses Twitter. He doesn't use
uh,
it at all.
that
Like
sucks.
Callie and
I've been
Weeks
so
were
out of the loop on Twitter, man. It's so bad.
yeah.
Now that it's hockey season, I'll have to get back into it. I've been kind of like just shadow liking stuff, and
Yeah.
that's it. Not really tweeting a whole bunch. Like, I tweeted one thing tonight, I think, about the Spanish broadcast thing,
Yeah, that
because
was sick.
when they showed the clip, I was like, that made me so excited. And I was like, I might have to start watching games in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like,
When at the guys at the pizzeria watch soccer games, it's always better when it's in Spanish. Like when the World Cup was on, they watched the Spanish broadcast. I was like, yeah, no, screw the English broadcast. Put the Spanish one
this is
on.
great.
No, they're so like animated and like just because of the language, it seems more intense. But when the goal finally comes, it really like you go like you all know what the ending is, but it's the setup that gets you there. That's like, oh, this makes it so much better and worth it. Like it's great. I don't watch soccer that much, but when they put it on, like I'll look at it every now and then, and if I look up once, I'll find myself looking for like 4 or 5 minutes and get distracted. And I'm like, damn it, like this is good.
That's how
But
it goes, man.
yeah, but anyways, to close it out, I'll give my ice cold take. I was gonna say something about Kane. Should I do the Kane one? Yeah, I'll do the Kane one. So,
Do it. Give me
I
more
was,
than one if you have to.
yeah, if the
We've been waiting for this for years to
yeah
finally get on and
yeah,
go
I'll
for
do
it, man. Give
I'll
me
do
it.
I'll do two. All right. So first one, Kane. If the Rangers have any injuries in the next month, Kane's a New York Ranger. 1 year, $2 million. Right. And let's go back last year. In September, the Kane rumors popped up. Like again, like they kept popping up on and off over the summer. And I was saying like the only way the Rangers can make it work is if they do a three-team trade where they retain 50%, trade him to a broker like Arizona, who retains 50%, and then they trade him for the Rangers. But Kane has to go to the Rangers and only the Rangers, and he has to make it vocal. And that exact scenario played out like maybe so that was in September, so October, November, December, January, February. 5 months later, 5, 6 months later, that exact scenario played out. And I was just like, wow, okay, that actually happened. I didn't think it would happen, but that's what needed to happen, and it did. So I'll say that it's that if the Rangers have an injury at all, like a long term injury or even a short one, I think Kane is going to come back to the Rangers.
That's fair. I'm hoping for no injuries.
Yeah,
You know,
I know.
especially none that'll be debilitating. You know.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's hope for a clean bill of health. I like what Laviolette's doing. Like he's not taking anything for granted. Like okay, if you have some lingering issues, if you don't feel the greatest, here take a night off with like VZ or Pitlick was like
yeah,
the precautionary. Let's put VZ in there. Not no harm in doing that because VZ is a
yeah,
more than capable replacement, and you can say the same thing about Pitlick if VZ is hurt or something. And then the same thing with Jones and Lindgren. Like Jones needs to play a game here and there. Like he's
yeah,
got to stay
yeah.
fresh.
Even I mean the one game that they did play
Yeah, he
that
wasn't.
pair was a bit rough.
Yeah,
So
he was. Yeah,
hopefully you know going forward if he comes into the lineup
yeah,
it won't be as disastrous.
absolutely. And my final ice cold take is yeah, Rick DiPietro. We're gonna get him this season for sure. We're getting him. Yeah, it's a
Sounds
foregone
good.
conclusion. Yeah, I will stop at nothing until he comes on. Until he says the word no or yes. I need to have yes or no. It can't be like you left me on red. You can't be like, all right, I saw it, but like it was sent, but I didn't read my email or something like that. Like I need yes or no. That's it. That's it.
So now's not an appropriate time to say DP sucks, is it?
Oh, oh man, he'll probably think it's funny. I don't know. He's a funny guy.
I tell you, I prefer that one over Podman sucks. I think that's you know it's time to let it go.
They should do the with the pot Vin sucks. They should change it for like who's pissing you off the most that night. So
So,
like
yeah,
so when they
something
did
like
the
that.
whistle, so it would be like all right. So home opener, the referee Kelly Sutherland like gets in the way. I'm not saying Sutherland sucks. I would say these refs suck.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it's just it's time. You know, it's time to let that shit go, dude. It's so funny
None of us
because
were even alive for that.
seriously, like it's so funny. I was on the. I sorry to keep you on the. I got off the train and held the door for this young lady and her mom, and she happened to be wearing a Devil's hat. She was at an event at the Prudential Center, and I was like, you know, I'll hold the door for you, even though you're a Devils fan. And she turns around and she's like, I'm not. There was just an event for my school at the Prudential Center. So we were there for the game. And I'm like, oh, okay. Who do you like? She's like, I'm a Rangers fan. I was like, all right. And then
Take the hat off.
her mom chimes in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, her mom's going on, and she's like, oh yeah, it's so weird. Devils fans are crazy. They were like talking about how Rangers suck when a guy would do a whistle. And I was like, yeah, that's you know, that's what we call little brother syndrome. No matter how no matter how much talent they have, they will always be a little brother. No matter how many cups come or go, they will always be little brother. And that's that.
gosh, that's hilarious.
No,
Little brother syndrome.
that's it, man. That's it. You know,
That,
they
that
yeah, we
seems to
might
be the
have.
theme tonight because I was saying like, all right, Trocheck missed an open net, Brad Richards syndrome, teams going off sides, Chris Kreider syndrome, Devils always the little brother syndrome. It's come full circle, people.
Oh, this is great. It's a good time.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Mike, thanks so much for joining the show. I love that you listen to the show all the time. Um, it was nice to finally meet you and to talk extensively with you, not over a Twitter space or in other guys' gifts.
I mean, we did drop a fair amount, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, hopefully, it was a pleasure to be on. Hopefully, we get to do it again, and
Yeah.
hopefully next time it'll be after a win, so we'll be even more upbeat because this was a lot of fun, even after a miserable loss. But definitely enjoyed taking the time with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, Ice
For
Cold
sure,
Take
man.
Man. Take it easy. We'll see you guys next week.